After more time passes, my spirit finds enough courage to yell for help, but is let down when it's met with a quiet nothingness and a harsh and instantaneous realization I may have waited too long. The death of Tawana Jameson. I felt as if I were no longer alive in my world, but trapped inside two different realities. My spirit understood this. As soon as I witnessed the pool of blood which surrounds my physical form expand, my body seems weak as it gasps for air. I accept and understand what is happening to her and me. We are dying, and my physical body appears drawn to this life force, to this reflection of my former self. It pulls itself a few feet, touching the translucent wall I now found myself trapped behind before giving into its injuries. I drop to her level and look into her eyes. This is all I can do to console her, and in some minuscule way have her realize she's not alone. My soul panics as I watch my body's slow deterioration. With every passing second, it tries again, harder this time, banging its hands against the walls, hoping somebody could hear her. But yet, nothing. I believe I will die here, in this place, all alone, and that this whole situation seems surreal. Nothing else is said as I wait for someone to find my remains. Overcome with grief, I just sit here, dreaming about my funeral to pass the time, thinking. It is funny how your last few minutes people worry about who will be there to mourn over you when you're gone. My spirit stands still. Its nervousness increases when the doorknob turns. As I once again hear footsteps coming into my room. He's not satisfied, I assume, trembling. He could have heard me scream, but I was unsure. Even though it seems like an eternity since the shot pierced my body, it's possible the time I waited wasn't long enough. My soul peeks through the glass of ice and gives a sigh of relief when I realize it's another person entering my room. Luckily, he barely missed the gun-wielding maniac who left me at the brink of death. Wrapped in a bedsheet covering his swimmer's-like physique, on bended knees, the 6'2" tall intruder cautiously crept in. He's drenched in sweat and breathing heavily.
Tawana, you didn't hear the alarm. We gotta get out of here. We gotta go. Damn, Tawana, what have you done? I held my hand to her chest, trying to stop the bleeding. Come on, girl. Stay with me. I demand. Her skin is pale, man. Her eyes flowing back in her head. She's not looking too good. Her warm blood covers me. Side pipe pressure to the gaping hole. I slap her face twice with the open palm of my hand. Never hit a woman before, but I think this time deserves it. Desperate to get a sign of life from the unresponsive woman, I'm freaking out. Her eyes open for only a few seconds to give me hope, but then they close again.
My soul touches my face, but it senses nothing, except for a brief pain from that last slap, which caused my eyes to open.
Come on, I demand. I stop talking when I notice the landline phone calling. Hotel security call each room to make certain everyone who left the building is safe. This is Adonis, room 2021. Someone in the room has been shot in the chest. I touched Tawana's neck with my 2 fingers, checking for a pulse.
My spirit waits, hoping to hear good news.
Yeah, man. She's still breathing, but please send someone fast. Disconnect the call and wait with Tawana. They're on their way. Hold on for me, please. I cry.
With this knowledge, I wasn't dead. My spirit calms. I sigh, watching in silence while the panicked Adonis resumes shaking my limp body to wake me. He calls again my name, hoping I'd answer back. I admit, Adonis tried his best to help me and provide me companionship in this time of need. Since I'd given up all hope of beating death and accepted the fact I would die alone, I was grateful. God sent me someone to get me through this process, even if it is Adonis. And I felt justified with using the word even. I didn't intend to sound thankless. The 6'2" man may have solved my prayers tonight, but this one act of kindness didn't make up for our sad history. And even though I'd invited him tonight, I was appreciative. Don't get me wrong, but I couldn't say I was thrilled to have him here watching me like this. My spirit stares at my body and Adonis as my soul continues to contemplate my life before and after his treachery. The reality of Adonis witnessing me almost shit myself was almost worse than the fact that I might be dead. It isn't like we were friends or even cordial to one another. This was a business trip. So this appearance he's putting on, acting as if he cares, only infuriated me more. But somewhere deep down inside, I was elated to have him here with me. The road to heaven is funny like that, I surmise. But my thoughts of forgiveness are short-lived as I let my hatred once again take over. What the hell is going on with my mind? I'm wondering in confusion as I deal with these conflicting emotions at war inside of me. I'm at odds with my heart. Deep down inside, my soul knew it was death fucking with me, fucking with my emotions. Ripping them apart and flooding my mind is irritating, and it will not let me go or allow me to dismiss it. The purpose of my transition is to deal with my problems. For once in my self-absorbed life, acknowledge them and work through them, no matter how painful. So, my spirit felt compelled to ask me, where was this gratitude to this fake Adonis coming from? Me? Being thankful to this asshole? This is not only funny, but ironic. Before, I tried to ruin this person's life. Yet here he is, kneeling before me, crying over my warm, still, yet lifeless form. Frankly, if he got up and walked away from us, the Tawana who lays here clinging for life, and the part of me trapped in this room waiting for salvation, I wouldn't blame him. I know I deserved all of this. I wanted to take this man's life away from him tonight, and here he is crying over my unfortunate demise. My spirit is disgusted with this man, this false person, this object of my hatred, who took so much away from me. He is still trying to play the good guy. So even in death, my soul fought in defiance, trying not to accept my hero's love, nor forgive the years of pain Adonis and every man I've ever known have put me through. I'm upset. And I decide I will not let death win. I will not let him have this by rebuking this Adonis and his welcome sorrow. I respond to his almost sincere display with a childish outburst of frustration and anguish. Adonis senses the faint sound. He glances over at my soul, but he's quick to dismiss it. My eyes brighten. Surprised, Adonis could hear anything, if only for a second. Is that the best you could do? I cry out in this crazy laughter, watching his futile efforts. My spirit pauses, putting one hand over my mouth, not sure whether to weep or smile as futility overtakes me, only snapping out of my crazy emotions when I hear other people entering the room.
Oh, thank you guys for coming. She's over here.
Oh God, thank you God. you, God. I no longer have to be strong anymore. I can now relax. I collapse on the ground, exhausted, as I watch the medics work on my body. I sit there staring at my enemy and ultimately my savior as the emergency response team forces a syringe into my chest cavity. They draw out the blood from my lungs so I can breathe easier. The promise of gaining a second chance to live allows death to win, and I now embrace this message, allowing the sickening sense of sorrow and forgiveness that it offers to enter my psyche. I understand I owed this man much more than my life. It isn't the tears streaming down Adonis's face, but it's something about how he looks at me as the paramedics pull me from his embrace. The emotions he gave to me aren't filled with love, only with genuine empathy. Somehow my loathing for him and his family diminishes. It's like he giving way to a cold burst of wind. I reflect on what God has revealed to me, realizing this don't blame me attitude was the source of my self-destructive tendencies, which put all of tonight's events into play. I wipe my tears as I stand back up, saying into the room, I guess this is when I reflect on my life while I'm waiting for the inevitable. So let's begin at the point all this shit went wrong. And God, please forgive me for all my predecessors, which ultimately set these chains of events into motion.